Welcome to Midnight Madness.
I look at Midnight Madness for the novice as the gateway drug to the festival experience.
Midnight Madness, Midnight Madness, Midnight Madness, yeah.
Midnight Madness. You're gonna get it, the Midnight Madness. You're gonna get it, the Midnight Madness. You're gonna get it, the Midnight Madness. You're gonna get it.
And now the Midnight Madness Show. Here's your host, the DJ Doctor.
Well, hello everybody. It's Mark the DJ Doctor here in beautiful downtown Manchester, Tennessee, with the one and the only Steve, the Colorado Kid. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing good tonight.
Good, good. We're it's a little chilly in here.
Really chilly.
Yeah, we're gonna have to adjust that, I think, here pretty soon. Want to say hey to all of our good friends and family that's out there tuned in to watch. Want to say hello to my daughter Holly and hopefully my granddaughter Amelia back up there in Indianapolis. I love you guys. And to the one and the only we call her the Velvet One, Velvet Presley, Rebecca, and the grandbabies. I think they may be listening, so I love you guys. And then we got to get the sponsors of the show, basically, the friends of the show. That's a better term. Chris at heatfmradio.com out there in New York. Thank you, Chris, for putting us on your show. And then alabamajams.com out there in Muscle Shoals. We just did the WC Handy Festival. I was there for 3 days. This is going on the rest of this week. And then I'll be there for the 3 days this weekend. Unbelievable musicians. So if you're in the sound of my voice and you got some time off, just grab a WC Handy calendar or schedule. You can go on the WCHandyMusicFestival.com page there and pull up a PDF, and it'll tell you all the events, all the venues, and this weekend is even crazier. So if you want to know who the talent is in that area, this is the weekend to go down there because they are all out. It's like telling Nashville to explode, kind of like, the CMA week and stuff, it's the same thing. It's going on down there. So, ton of great musicians. So, go down there and check that out. That's my commercial for WC Handy Festival, and I'll see you all down there here in this coming weekend. So, but Alabama Jams, they do the best of all the Alabama artists down there. So, thank you guys. And then Brian, the IT guru, I believe he is listening tonight. We have bellied out our computer here that is now a paperweight. So we are Facebook Live, and I think everything is looking good on the Facebook Live page. So any of you that are responding, I can't see it now because it's on my phone and it's turned sideways, so I get no comments. So please say hello. Maybe Steve might be able to see it on his page. I don't know. But make comments throughout the night. So we're pretty excited to get the show going on here. So with that, without further ado, as they say, I met this young man a couple of weeks ago at the Lynchburg Music Festival. We first caught him when he was doing the VIP tent, and I thought, man, this kid's really good. And then he happened to play the main stage, I think, the following day. And I'm like, no, this guy's really good. So we were tickled to death that you said that you'd come out and hang out with us here tonight. So we have Bryce Reeg with us tonight. How you doing, Bryce?
Awesome, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
Crazy.
Thanks, both of you.
And Bryce, what we're going to do is have you start off with a song real quick, and then we're just going to try to get to know who you are, where you came from, and what you're doing.
All right. So this is what I'm going to do. This is one of my favorite songs by Billy Strings. It's called Dust in a Bag. I ain't slept 7 days, haven't ate in 3. This methamphetamine has got a damn good hold of me. And my tweaking friends have got me to the point of no return. So I just put that lighter to the bulb and watch it burn. This life of sin, it's got me in. It's got me back in prison once again. I use my only phone call to contact my daddy. I got 20 long years for some dust in a bag. what Mom and Pop had said. I wouldn't be locked up in prison, troubled in the head. So I took that little pipe, sucked in till my mind was spun. Now I got 20 years to sit and think of what I've done. This life of sin, it's got me in. It's got me back in prison once again. I use my only phone call to contact my daddy. Got 20 long years for some dust and a bag. Listen to what Mom and Pop had said. Wouldn't be locked up in prison, troubled in the head. And my life is a disaster, Lord, and I feel so ashamed. Somewhere they call me by number, not name. This life of sin, it's got me in. It's got me back in prison once again. I use my only phone call to contact my daddy. I got 20 long years for some dust and a bag.
Yeah. Fantastic guitar
Thank
playing
you.
there. Love it.
How many notes did he play? Yes, all of them. Yeah, Bryce is the player, guys. You know, Bryce can put it on there. And let's just get out the formalities right off the bat. That is a beautiful guitar, and you need to talk about it real quick as we get the show going, because they need to hear that you know what you got.
Man, this is the nicest, most cared for musical instrument that I've ever owned. This is my Gallagher Doc Watson model. And she's young, man. This is I named her Blondie. I've never had a blonde top guitar. Mm-hmm. And yeah, she's only about 6 months old. I want to say 7 months old. So I'm
not even broke in yet.
Not even broke in yet.
Sounds this good, and it's not even broke in yet.
Yeah, in the first weekend I owned it, I was doing a Midwest tour in Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois, and we had, I want to say, 6 gigs lined up in 5 days.
Okay.
And that was her first run. Wow. Nailed it, and it didn't look back. It's awesome.
Wow. That's wild.
I love it. This is from Gallagher Guitar over there in Murfreesboro.
And we can talk all day about Gallagher guitars because we've had runs in with them a lot, and we just love their guitars. And as I was showing Steve, as you were tuning up, doing your little sound check, the settings on my board is like a third of what they normally are.
Right.
Yeah, so it's crazy, man, how
these
those things resonate.
Wow.
It's like, no, you guys don't need all that. I already got it right here inside of me.
He's got it. Yeah,
It's taken care of.
We don't need no stinking PA.
No,
no, they're great.
Some of
guitars,
those well-built guitars, and some of the greats own them. I know Waylon Jennings had one. Like I said earlier, Joe Bonamassa had one. Johnny Cash, I believe, had one.
Wow.
And the most famous would be Doc Watson. And that's why they made this little tribute series for him.
That's cool. We're just checking the video here, guys. It looks like everything's working on my end over here. We'll double check that. Yeah, see, he's moving, so I'm good to go. So,
Okay.
All right. Well, let's get back to the show here. Bryce, where are you from? Where was home originally?
So I grew up in a small town called Bellevue, Iowa. It's on the eastern edge of Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Right across the river from Wisconsin and Illinois. And it's a little small town of about 2,000 people. Everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing sometimes, and it's also kind of a nuisance sometimes. But yeah, that's where I grew up, born and raised, and I was there up until about 2 years ago when I moved to Nashville.
Okay.
Nice.
So you know what winters are really like.
Man, I know every season. We get the fullest extent of every season up there.
Yep.
We get a really pretty and brutal version of them all. So
Except the snow doesn't melt very fast.
no. Yeah, man, they may still have snow being melted up there from last snowstorm.
Wow.
No, it's wild up there. I grew up plowing. I had to plow to get up my quarter-mile driveway from school. I'd keep the skid steer at the bottom of the lane, and that was my way up.
But you were going to school, though.
Oh, yeah.
You said he was going to school.
I was going to school.
Right.
Yeah.
That day.
People down here have no idea. See, I'm from
So you'll be
Wisconsin.
able to.
You're from Beloit. I saw that, right?
Yes.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm from
I got
Beloit.
a couple buddies from Beloit. If you know any Olsons or anything.
Ooh, man. Yeah.
I can see this story going on. I had to plow both ways to go
Yeah,
to and
yeah.
from school.
Uphill, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Carrying ice on my back.
That's right.
But yeah. We know what brutal winters are, but people forget that up in that neck of the woods, the summer, which is a lot shorter than like down here, are brutal, man.
It's
triple digits, high humidity.
Oh yeah, the humidity is the worst, man.
And mosquitoes the size of your guitar.
In fish flies.
Yeah.
Fish flies is one of the biggest things, man. That because we're my hometown, the bar that I was working at before I moved down is right on what we call Riverview, and the Mississippi River is the next street over.
Yeah.
And so we get these pounds and pounds of fish flies every year. The whole town will black itself out from 9 to 9, and yeah, that's I'll take mosquitoes over those damn fish flies.
So, is that where fly fishing came from?
Actually, man, I was a bass fisherman. I've never been fly fishing, but that I could see going well up there.
I said it would.
So what got you into the music scene? What was the light switch that turned on for you?
Well, my hometown was full of musicians, just packed with musicians. So where I'm from, we're right on Lock and Dam number 12.
Okay.
And we did this thing every week actually. It's called Jam at the Dam. Every Friday, all the local musicians would get up and play, and I grew up being around some amazing pickers and songwriters and performers. So from before I can remember, I just idolized these dudes that were getting up doing it and some of them making a living out of it, some of them being part-time, just enjoying themselves up there. Mm-hmm. But I think just being surrounded in that scene and it being so normal for somebody to want to pick up a guitar or the drums at that early on was pretty normal. I remember going and playing gigs around that area in eastern Iowa, and people would ask, hey, man, where are you from? And I'd say Bellevue, and they're like, oh, that makes sense. That's where all the musicians come from. So I was very lucky and fortunate to be able to grow up around some talented guys.
That's pretty cool. And then you said you stayed there until just a couple of years ago?
Yeah, I was up there until 2018.
Oh, wow.
Actually, yep. I've only been down here for about 2 years. Actually, 2 years exactly on July 11th. I just got the reminder.
Oh, wow.
So he used to play a lot of Damn It.
Yeah, that he sure did.
Absolutely.
He sure did. Now, you said you were on a tour. You went through Wisconsin and Illinois. What was some of the venues you hit? What's some of the cities you hit?
We hit Dubuque, Iowa. We were in, Wisconsin. We play over in, I remember the bar names, but I can't remember the towns. Dubuque was a big one. Cedar Rapids. Mm-hmm. Played a little bit in Iowa City. And as far as Illinois, we do some in Chicago. And then we kind of make our way back. That's the thing, is everything kind of revolves around Bellevue, and then we backtrack from there and branch out from there.
Okay.
But yeah, like Dubuque, Bellevue, Davenport, Keeler, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Your stomping grounds.
Yep.
A little bit in Illinois, like East Dubuque and stuff like that.
Now, do you
Galena.
go out on tour as often as you can? Now, I know 2020 was a year we're not going to talk about, but
Yeah, as often as I could up until then, man. I try to do, so all my family lives back in Bellevue, and I like to make at least, once every month or once every other month, a run of gigs, either on the way up for that 10-hour drive and make kind of this mini Midwest tour out of it, just so I can go see my nephews and my sister, my mom and dad.
that's cool.
Yeah. So.
Well, hopefully, maybe someone are watching tonight. Maybe they'll be eyeballing. You might want to say, "Hey, Mom," or your nephews on there.
Mom, I'm on TV.
Yeah, Mom,
Look what I'm doing.
I got a gig. Bryce, why don't you go ahead and play another song real quick? Tell us a little bit about what you're going to play. And
Yeah. So this one, this is my most recent original, and I don't want the name to throw anybody, but it is called Drug Song for a well reason. I was listening to a lot of Merle and Townes Van Zandt and Johnny Cash and stuff a couple months ago, and what I realized, every singer's got that drug song, be it Cocaine Blues, be it X amount of songs, and I was like, I want to take kind of a spin on all these and make it more of a positive, less flamboyant thing that's not glorified as much, and kind of the true story behind what my personal experience was. So yeah, this is a song I wrote called Drug Song. Monday night or Tuesday morning in mama's eye, but to me it was just week 3 sleeping in my jeans. If you'd have gave me a mile, I'd give it back to you, 'cause all I'd need was an inch or 2 of a white line, a blind eye in Midwest number 9. Well, every singer's got a drug song, so here's my first and my last one. But up until the next one, I'll tell you where they come from. Just take a small town on time church boy, build a bridge from home base to Illinois, pour a double, make him feel like a cowboy, and step back and watch him fall for another way to get by. Swears it's gonna be the last time. It's just a cocaine drive-by, and he knows it won't be long till he's a star of a drug song. But you can't be late if you don't know the time. If you tape the blinds, the sun don't shine, and it gets hard to hide your shaking hands. And I swore to mama I'd never be that man. And every singer's got a drug song, so here's my first and my last one. But up until the next one, I'll tell you where they come from. Just take a small town on time church boy, build a bridge from home base to Illinois, pour a double, make him feel like a cowboy, step back and watch him fall for another way to get by. Swears it's gonna be the last time. It's just a cocaine drive-by, and he knows it won't be long till he's a star of a drug song. If you don't want to wake up on the floor of a hotel room, I'll tell you what you shouldn't do. Just take a small town on time church boy, build a bridge from home base to Illinois, pour a double, make him feel like a cowboy, step back and watch him fall for another way to get by. Swear it's gonna be the last time. It's just a cocaine drive-by, he knows it won't be long till he's the star of a drug song. Thank you.
Very nice. What were some of your influences, other than being around Bellevue, Ohio, musicians? Who were some of the other ones that kind of inspired you to play guitar or write songs?
Guitar was for sure Stevie Ray Vaughan. My uncle would give me these old bootleg CDs and tapes growing up he's like, man, you gotta listen to this guy, you gotta listen to this guy. If you're gonna get interested at all in guitar, you gotta know who this is.
Right.
So guitar, definitely Stevie Ray Vaughan.
That's my favorite.
He's just unreal.
He was killed just north of where I was born and raised.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, about an hour and 15 minutes north of my house is where, at Alpine Valley, Wisconsin.
Oh, Alpine, okay, yeah, I've been there.
The big snow ski resort up there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I never got to see him live because he never played anywhere around where I would drive 3 hours one way to go see Stevie Ray Vaughan, and he never played anywhere where I was at. And then I moved to Indianapolis, and a friend of mine goes, hey, man, guess who I'm seeing tonight at Alpine Valley? And he goes, oh, I'm seeing Eric Clapton, I'm seeing Jimmy Vaughan, Robert Cray, Buddy Guy, and I'm like, great. And he goes, and Stevie Ray Vaughan. I'm like, I hate you.
And Stevie Ray. He saved the bed. Oh my god.
Yeah, I saved that for the end.
That's the cherry on the top.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Stevie got killed. So.
That's an extra twist to the knife right there.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Actually, all those guys that you mentioned were all on my playlist growing up. And then as far as I never really, I didn't write songs until probably 6, 7 years into playing guitar.
Okay.
And didn't really even sing. I just wanted to be the shredder on the side.
Okay.
And I was originally a drummer in a band when I was really young, before I even learned guitar. And those guys were a lot older than me. They were 18 when I was 12 and started playing bars with them.
Okay.
And once we did our run of gigs, a couple of years, they went into college and graduated college, started getting married, having kids and stuff, and they couldn't do it as much. And I had found the bug then. I caught the bug. I wanted to keep playing. So this guitar was just something I was doing on the side, and I wanted to keep it going. So I started singing more and getting more confidence with my voice and my songwriting. And I'd say a lot of my songwriting is spanned, man, from like my parents always played Matchbox 20's Someone or Someone Like You album growing up. So that one, I took a bunch, even unknowingly and unwillingly, I took a lot from that album just growing up. But then once I got older, I took a lot from like, I dove deeper into like Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young,
right,
and Steve Goodman, John Prine, those kind of guys that could break your heart, make a grown man cry. And then I found when I came down here, Townes Van Zandt and all those guys. So I try to, it's just this musical goulash that turns into my songs, I suppose.
And I think that's what's cool. You listen to a little bit of everything and then kind of adapt it to you. I mean, we've had kids come in and want to take drum lessons. They go, I want to play just like Lars Ulrich from Metallica. Yeah. I'm like, why? Oh, because I really like him. But there's one Lars Ulrich. There's one Neil Peart from Rush. There's one, Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
Don't be the next Ringo Starr. Be the next you.
Mm-hmm.
So learn a little. Listen to some of these other musicians, drummers, guitar players, and just kind of adapt that. Put it in your own. I love Neil Peart from Rush. He said, I watch this drummer and I watch that drummer, and then I'll take like a tool that he just played and I put it in my toolbox for me to use later. If I have a riff I need to come up with, I just take that tool out of the toolbox and I can use it later. That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Absolutely. That's some of the best advice you can give a young student is be yourself. That person's already taken.
Yep.
And like you said, put little snips in your own toolbox, and then you're going to find this whole new thing. I had to learn that kind of the hard way coming to Nashville. I was 25, and you'd think I'd have, kind of my objective and outlook figured out. But when I came down, I just kept comparing myself to people.
Right.
It's like, oh man, if I could only do that, if I could only do that. But I had to remind myself of those roots and exactly what you just said. You just take what you do, because there's a lot of people, and Asher Cataldo told me this. He's like, there's probably a lot of people looking at you saying, man, I wish I could do that like that guy.
Right.
And you're that guy, own that guy, and, give the world something different.
Yep.
Right.
No, absolutely.
And when you want to sound like everybody else, that's telling you right there that, hey, there's something wrong. You need to be different.
Yeah, that's all you're going to be ever is anybody else if you try to do that stuff. So
I did a show where I got a call, and they wanted me to drum behind the next Johnny Cash. And this young kid came out, all wearing black, had a black cowboy hat. And if you shut your eyes, it was Johnny Cash. Sounded dead spot on. We did all Johnny Cash songs. And I thought, well, the kid's good if you're doing a Johnny Cash tribute artist. But that's all he's ever going to be. He had no originals. And I'm like, guys, we love Johnny Cash. We're not looking for the next one.
Right.
Let Johnny be Johnny. Be the next you. So, but that was the show. You're going to crack up on this, Bryce. It was sponsored by Purina Dog Chow. So around the drum set, they had 50-pound bags of dog food. And they had bags of dog food all over the stage. I'm like, oh, man, I made it to the big time.
how some people put a pillow in their tom or their bass?
Yeah.
Was there a bag of...
I've done that years ago.
Was there a bag of dog food in this set?
They should have. They could have.
Okay.
I had it on each side of the bass drum. It was sad. But let's
How
go back.
about a rattlesnake rattle in a guitar? Have you ever heard of people doing that?
No.
That's wild.
That's new to me.
Try it.
What's it called?
It's a rattlesnake
A
rattle.
rattlesnake tail?
Throw one in your guitar and try it.
Inside the guitar?
Inside your guitar.
I wouldn't do it to the
throw it in.
Gallagher.
I would have...
Just leave the rest of the snake out of it because it bites.
Man, what if I do what they do with those shell shakers and just hold in my hand and play? Does that do the same thing?
I don't think so.
I'll have to look in a little further to it, I suppose.
It'd be an interesting sound, though.
I suppose it would.
Yeah.
Well,
And
Bryce,
as fast as you were playing that,
Oh, yeah, the
almost a
first one.
bluegrass style, it was like, yeah, I could see that. I could really see that.
I got some homework to do, I guess.
that's kind of
Right.
wild. Steve's going to be your manager here pretty soon. What you need is some shells
We'll talk.
and a rattlesnake tail. I'm like, just keep playing. Speaking of that, why don't we go ahead and just pick another tune out? Which one would you like to do?
Yeah, so this is one that I wrote with, once again, speaking of Asher Cataldo, him and I did this one, and he came to me with the idea of this song being about me, which is nobody's ever done that before. He's like, man, just re-listening to your story and how you ended up being down here, I wanted to write a song kind of explaining that. And he named it Saving Grace. So this is it's very, very personal to me. And it's funny, the lyrics that I wrote don't even come close to how personal the lyrics he wrote for me in this song are, which is crazy. He nailed it, and I can't thank him enough for this. And this is going to be on my new EP. It's called Saving Grace. Hotel room outside of Dubuque, sheets to the wind. I ran as far as I could go to get away from my sins. Lord, I know we ain't spoken in a while, but I could use you right now to help me figure this all out, 'cause I'm tired of going down. I need a saving grace, someone to guide the way, release me from yesterday, give me the strength to make a change. Please answer my call, I can't do this alone. I've run for so long, now I want to go home. I need a saving grace. This Jameson bottle is getting close to gone, and the TV looks like snow. Between the bad static and all the bad habits, the preacher's voice cuts through. No, I don't know if it's true. He said you're coming back soon. If you're looking for me, you know where I'll be. Just calling and crying out for you. I need a saving grace, someone to guide the way, release me from yesterday, give me the strength to make a change. Please answer my call, I can't do this alone. I've run for so long, now I want to go home. I need a saving grace. Yeah, I need a saving grace. Somewhere along the way, I lost my faith. If it's the last prayer I'm ever gonna pray, it's I need a saving grace, someone to guide the way, release me from yesterday, give me the strength to make a change. Please answer my call, I can't do this alone. I've run for so long, now I want to go home. I need a saving grace. I need a saving grace.
Beautiful song.
Thank you.
Beautiful song. I do see where our good friend Wayne Black popped up and sent a message. So, Wayne, I can't read the message because it's about 6 feet away from me and my eyes aren't that good. But I hope you're doing well, my friend. I hope we get to get out and see you somewhere around the road. Last I heard, I think Wayne was in New York.
Wow.
I don't know if he's out there staying. Wayne, if you're out, text me. Let me know what's going on with you. If you're back around here in Tennessee, I'd like to get to see you and hang out with you sometime. So, take care, my friend. Is it tough doing songs about yourself in a way, or would it help with Asher kind of writing that for you?
Yeah, it's definitely tough doing songs about yourself because, man, it's such a vulnerable thing.
Yep.
Like, Drug Song was probably one of the hardest song I've ever had to write, or wanted to write.
Mm-hmm.
But it helped having him kind of kickstart me to that song there. And he held up a mirror to me, man. He showed me a lot of, he knows me real well, and he showed me a lot of stuff that he thought should be, presented in song form. So, yeah, it's definitely tough. It's not easy, man. But once you kind of treat it as what it is, and you recognize, well, what are my favorite songs to listen to? Mm-hmm. My favorite songs to listen to are the ones that somebody's really just standing there with nothing guarding their honest self, and those are my favorite ones. I don't like the shallow stuff, and yeah, so I want to present that to somebody else. I want to give somebody else who might have been in a similar experience little familiarity with somebody to relate to, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing we always been talking about is songs that if it didn't happen to you, it could have, or it happened to a friend of yours. Those are the best songs.
Yes.
You could relate to that. It's a lot of music out there in several different genres. I hear it and I go, I don't get it. I don't understand it. It'll never happen to me. I don't know anyone that's ever happened to. All fabricated stuff. Right. And the old country, like, and I wondered today if people like Johnny Cash or Merle Haggard would make it in today's music, because you wonder, no, I'm going to get yelled at, but average-looking men walking off the street singing about stuff that we all can talk about.
Right.
I don't know if it goes over anymore. Now they want, pretty people and fabricated songs, and I don't know if the people like,
But when you pull out your lyrics and stuff the way you do and stuff, if you can drag your people into it and sit there and actually feel it, more than they hear it, then you've done a fantastic job, and you're doing great on it. I like your style. I really do.
Thank you.
Well, we've said it a few times on the show. I want to be able to feel your song. I don't want to hear your song.
Yeah.
It's got to be touching. And you talk about when you play a song and it grabs people. It grabs people. That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
What music's supposed to do. Whether it be a ballad or a rocker tune, or a blues tune, it needs to grab you. And when music does that, I love it. Like I said, I was down at the WC Handy Festival, and I'm watching this band play, and the park was packed. And there was people, they didn't have the fountain on. There was people dancing where the fountain was and was drained out of the water. That was packed full of people dancing. I'm like, man, this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
If people are having a good time, they're forgetting about their times and their troubles. It's melting away in a good way.
That's what music, I believe, was intended for. It wasn't supposed to be a beauty show, beauty competition, or anything like that.
Right.
And so I think there are definitely artists doing that today. You just got, I hate when people say, country isn't country anymore. It's like, no, you're just not looking hard enough. There are people out there that are not the prettiest people in the world, but man, they'll sit here and make a grown man cry. Yep. And those are the guys I like listening to. I've been to a couple concerts where the main artist has been like, all right, now for this next song, I'm just going to do it acoustic. All I request is everybody put your phones down. Put your phones down, and everybody just close their eyes for a second. For the remainder of the song. If you can do me one more thing tonight, just do that for me, and just listen and just be for a second.
Yep.
And I think those are the guys that are going to have the biggest impact on the future generations, and not have to try and sell some of these features that have nothing to do with music.
Right.
Which is appearance and where you came from and all this. They do to an extent, but I think the lyrics and the actual music should be something that stands alone.
And I think you touched on something that we as fans and people that go out, put your phone away. Mm-hmm. There's a time for Facebook and Twitter and all that crap. It's not when the artist is on stage. That burns me. Oh, that burns me so bad.
Well, people are recording, man, the front row as if they're going to get the best video.
Yeah.
Of anybody there.
Yeah.
It's like, no. You're going to find it on YouTube tomorrow. It's okay.
Yeah.
Just experience it for a second.
Yeah. I just put your stuff away and watch the artist. Show respect.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Sixx.
Unless you got the light going.
Yeah, sure. You know that. I'm okay with that.
The candle app, yeah, that's
right.
pretty cool. But Nikki
It was
Sixx,
big lighters in our day.
yeah,
You're right. I must be an old soul because I'll still do that.
Yeah, the bassist from Motley Crue, Nikki Sixx, when they were talking to him about retiring, what's the biggest thing from your last show compared to your first show so many years ago? And he said a lot of blue faces in the crowd, people that paid $100, $150 a ticket to sit and watch their phones. And he goes, and that's kind of disheartening. And I'm like, man, to Motley Crue, to a heavy metal concert, people are on their phones. People, put your phones down.
I went to Motley Crue.
I've never seen Motley Crue. I've never got to go see them.
They were awesome.
I bet they would be live.
I can't imagine.
Buddy, it's time for another song. What one would you like to play?
Yeah, let's do. Let's see here. This is one I wrote for my sister actually.
Okay.
This is she's still up in Iowa, and I wrote this to her right before I moved down here. And I'm really bad with, I'm a very nervous person. I'm a very kind of inside my head person. So it was really tough to have to say goodbye to her before moving down. And she's my best friend under the sun. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't know how to have that conversation. So I did what I knew how to do, which is put it in a song, I suppose. So yeah, this is called Boots by the Door, and I wrote this about 2 years ago right now before moving down to Tennessee.
Okay.
Take too long to get me lost up in my thinking. So thankfully I'm not the smartest here. It really starts sinking when the money don't match the drinking, and no gas skip this town. She's not around to say settle down. Well, I could use that right now. Lay my head back on this Midwestern grass, below the stars I never could ignore. Tough times and moonshines got me standing looking south, thinking life could be just a little more. So please don't cry when my boots ain't by the door. But I hope to God you miss me when I'm spending time in Dixie. Hope the boys learn to say my name and keep the garden growing. I'll be back before you know it, and we'll sing louder than we've ever had before. So please don't cry when my boots ain't by the door. Don't take too long to get me lost up in my head. I know the calls I miss piss off my friends, but them down on Court Street never seem to disappoint me in helping push this boat out to the shore. Don't wanna see me lying about being fine no more, and I hope they'll smile when my boots ain't by the door. But I hope to God they'll miss me when I'm spending time in Dixie. Hope the boys learn to say my name and keep the garden growing. I'll be back before you know when we'll sing louder than we've ever had before. Don't cry when my boots ain't by the door. that I'll miss her, like a poem misses the one who shared his pain. Like a match missing the chance to catch a flame. It's all the same. You know why I came, just to pack up these old boots and go again, my friends. So I hope to God you miss me when I'm spending time in Dixie. Please don't forget my name. Just keep the garden going, I'll be back before you know it. We'll sing louder than we've ever had before. Don't cry when my boots ain't by the door. Send up a smile when you don't see them no more.
Beautiful. You have a refreshing style of guitar playing.
Yes.
We
I was
don't-
thinking the same thing.
We don't have a lot of people that play like that. We have some amazing players, some guys that can come out and tear it up. But that's unique. You're a heck of a player, and you've got a unique style, a unique sound.
I
So
really appreciate that.
be the next Bryce.
Thank you.
You're doing
Yeah, that's
exactly
right.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Thank you.
And it helps. He's playing it on a Gallagher guitar.
Right.
Yeah, that-
But you know, it's weird because it was almost a bluegrass. It's almost a blues and a jazz. I mean, it's very refreshing because it mixes it all up.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
a different style.
It is.
And I like it. So I'm like, it's good. It's got a good feeling. The melody, the flow of the music,
Right.
works well with the song, the lyrics too. So
Thank you.
great stuff, man. Now, do you have the stuff available where people can buy? Do you have a Spotify or anything yet?
So not yet. I'm actually recording over at Excise Studios here in Manchester with Bull.
Okay.
And the guys from Common John's.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's going to be my first project that I've put out. I have I've been on other people's stuff and as a session artist, but yeah, this is my first project, and I'm so stinking excited for it.
Good. Any idea when this might be done?
I'm hoping if all goes to plan, we're gonna call it late August.
Okay.
Late August, yeah.
Excellent. What's some of the other venues that you got coming up booked that you might want to kind of give a shout out to?
Let's see. I know we have. I'll be playing the Cigar Shop over there in Tullahoma in the next couple months. I can't remember specific dates, but that's For the Win Cigar Shop. Common John's Brewery is a good one that we play around here. Let's see. Iron Horse and War Trace. I'm actually going to be doing. This is one that I wanted to talk about. Is Whiskey Jam.
Okay.
In August 23rd, me and Asher are going to be doing Whiskey Jam on our own separate cards, and I'll be playing lead guitar for him.
Cool.
Nice.
And that is a Monday up in Nashville, and I could not be more excited for that.
That's pretty cool. Now you got all this. You have a website or a Facebook page? We need to
Facebook
look.
page. Yep.
Facebook.
That's just Bryce Ray Music, and
Go ahead
my
and spell it out. Make sure people.
yeah, BRYCE. My last name is a little confusing. It's REEG, pronounced however you want, but if you want to get to know me, say Ray. But
and that's funny because during Lynchburg, everyone was saying Ray, and I'm
Reeg.
going, is it not Reg or Reeg? And I'm like, am I missing something?
it's
here?
very, very German. Very German.
Apparently,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
apparently. So okay,
But yeah, you can find me on Facebook and shoot me a friend request on my personal page. That's just Bryce Ray. And Instagram, I like to promote all those gigs coming up too, and that's just _ Bryce Ray _
okay.
Yeah.
So when you get something out, we want to make sure we get it on the radio station. Are you doing it just you and your guitar? Or are you doing it with a band or?
Actually, Dayton's going to be joining me. He was supposed to be with me tonight. Dayton Olson, amazing harmonica player,
Yes, he is.
fantastic harmonica player.
And he's got the look too.
he nails the look. Man, I wish you could have seen him when I met him.
Okay.
He was clean, almost like a bowl cut, maybe
No
a
way.
little chin strap, and now he's like full on Cody Jinks Halloween costume, man. It's great.
Yeah, he had the look going on.
He's got
He
the
had
look
unique
when he puts those harmonicas on his belt. and all that, man. I love it. But he's going to be on it. He's going to be the only one. And thinking about getting my buddy Pat up doing some vocals for us, too, from up in Iowa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, excellent. How are we looking on time there, Steve? We got time
10
for
more minutes.
one more song.
Yep.
So
More song?
So we covered out places where you're going to go. We covered up your Facebook page. Anything you want to say to anybody before we call it a night? We're going to do one more song, and then we'll say our goodbyes after that. But up and coming, people that are kind of following your footsteps, anything kind of advice that you want to give out?
Yeah, just be yourself, man. Well, like we were talking about earlier, anybody that's learning or in the midst of wanting to make a move to someplace scary like I did, and just trust yourself, trust the process, put in your work, and be different. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah.
Some of my buddies that are doing that right now that I want to shout out, Mr. Jesse Charette is a fantastic musician from Atlanta, Georgia, and you can find him online, Jesse Charette. Brett Bone. Make sure you check out Asher Cataldo. He's one of the best upcoming songwriters in Nashville right now, as far as I'm concerned.
He comes from a family that's like just completely ridiculously talented. If it's not music, they do all kinds of other stuff.
Something. Yeah, they're kind of. I feel like the Cataldo mindset is anything worth doing is worth overdoing.
Right.
And I can see that in every single one of his brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whether it's music, whether it's rebuilding cars, building a car from the ground up, they all have the most inspiring work ethic. And I love that it rubs off on me.
Over at War Trace when he was performing over there, and
Yeah.
she had a project that she was just finishing up. That I don't know if I can talk about it because she's in kind of the start stage. But all I know is I looked at him and like, "You did this?" She goes, "Oh yeah." And it was ungodly. And then I find out that the whole family is like that obsessive with whatever they do. It's got to be like to the extreme.
They absolutely are. And that's my favorite part about him. It keeps me, he's going to be the guy that if I'm tired, not wanting to go up to Nashville to see somebody or go play, he's gonna come knock on my bedroom door, and be like, no, we're going. Yeah, he's like my guru and all this.
Well, we're trying to get a deal going on with Asher to get him on the show. So you see him tonight or you talk to him, tell him that, hey, we talked to Dayton. Dayton said, oh yeah, he's right next to me. He'll give you a call in a minute. I haven't heard from him, so
you have to.
I'm going to call him on the way home. No,
him.
I'll call him. He was texting me. He's supposed to be over here with me today. He was stuck in traffic, but I'm going to make sure he knows that he's got to get his butt over here.
Tell him, like, hey man, come on over here and hang out with us for a little while. So we'll try to get that booked up here real fast.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. What would you like to finish the show off with?
Let's do one by Tyler Childers, actually. Unless y'all like an original song.
Whatever you want to do, man.
Whatever. All right. Let's do it's called Gemini. I hope you like it. He knows how it feels between beginning and the end. I reckon he knows the feeling between now and then. I'm stuck between a rock, hard place, friend. Lord, won't you help me carry my load? Borrowed me a hammer, swung for a dime. Got to where I finally could afford me mine. But in between swinging and the idle time, I got to thinking heavy on the road. Now I'm head out in the upper room with walls so thin I could bust right through. I give all my buddies a rambling too. That stuff really blows my mind. Back when I was younger, I didn't have a clue. Come to think of it, I still doubt I do. Every now and then I get to thinking, I've got it all worked out. I used to take my time burning in a bong. Ice down with the lights turned off. Something in my speakers I can ponder on. Something I can mold around. Now I'm lit up like a Christmas tree. Check 1, 2, can y'all hear me? Besides something, but they ain't for free. Look at here and wire for sound. The road goes on forever. You party after 10. Run forever if you never let it end. Got a half of me wondering when I finally kick the urge to roam. Part of me just wants to live forever on the road, split me down the middle, ship my southpaw home. And if she gets to ask, you tell her you don't rightly know what happened to the rest of me. Just to weep no more, girl, don't cry. I fire married you a Gemini. This is the half of him you always like. Look at here, his heart still beats. Something like that.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
That's the beautiful thing that when we do festivals and stuff, people are like, well, we shot Clint Black. I didn't. Mary Carton shot Clint Black, the other day, and Shenandoah and T. Graham Brown and all that. And that's cool that we get a chance to shoot those. But it's the people that are right before them that are the ones that are the great finds. And I thought when we saw him at the VIP tent, and I think the very next day when he played the main stage, wasn't that the day we had the monsoon?
Actually, I was the day. So there was a day in between. I played the VIP, and there was the monsoon, and I was on Saturday.
On Saturday, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because, it was an absolute mess.
That was crazy, man. Actually, another guy I got a shout-out real quick, Manny Alexander. He was supposed to play that first set on Friday during all that, and he unfortunately got canceled and had to push his set to next year, but he's a fantastic musician. We got lucky. We were just dealing with the heat.
Yeah. You did a fantastic job. I was in pit row taking photos, and there was some people next to me that said you were the best one that they've seen out there so far that weekend.
Really?
Yes.
No.
They said this is the best. This is the best one we've seen so far.
Dude, that means the world. Thank you. That's awesome.
A great compliment. But you did a good job. You're up on the big stage, you and Dayton, and you guys killed it. Yeah, you have pizzazz, and again, I said it earlier. I don't want to hear you play. I want to feel you play. Yeah. And he's a monster harmonica player.
Yeah, he's insane. And the crazy part about him, fun fact, he's only been playing for probably 4 years. I want to say. I remember I met him before he even owned a harmonica or had any idea what he wanted to do with music at all. So yeah, he's come a long, long way, man. Dayton is a very special player to play with.
We'll have to get him on the show one of these times, So.
Yeah.
We'll let you head back out of here. I'm going to talk to you when we get off air because I got something I think I'd like to show you if we got it available, if I can find it. We remodel a bunch of stuff, and who knows where we put stuff. But we got to say goodbye to all of our friends and family out there. I want to say to my good friend Wayne Black, who looked like he was still in New York. So, Wayne, I hope you're doing well out there. Hopefully we'll get to see you sometime whenever you come back here, I hope. And then we want to say, have a good time and a good night and good week at the WC Handy Festival. All of our friends down there in Alabama, down there at WC Handy Fest in Florence. It's in Florence, Sheffield, Tuscumbia, and Muscle Shoals. It's going on all that. Check that out. It's a great venue. So AlabamaJams.com. Thank you, guys. HeatFMRadio.com. Chris Cataldo out there in New York. Thank you very much, Chris, for doing what you do. And I need to say goodbye to my daughter Holly and Amelia and Rebecca and the grandbabies over there. Brian, who hopefully is watching the show. Brian, our IT guy, the producer of the show. Hopefully he's doing well. We'll talk to you soon. Mm-hmm. Great job tonight, buddy.
Yeah.
The Colorado Kid. We'll talk to you more here down the road. But again, Bryce, thank you for gracing us with your music and song. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Pleasure to be here, man. Thanks y'all so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it. Let's do it again soon.
You've been adopted into the family, so awesome. It's going to be like a Twilight Zone episode. You'll never get rid of us. So, for Bryce Ray and myself, I'm Mark the DJ Doctor. Y'all take care and give me a second to shut off my Facebook Live. But y'all take care, and we'll see you next week at the next Midnight Madness show.
See you.